Trevs Show. I'm the Trev. That's too sweet. Anyway, continuing with my division prediction reviews. I'm coming at you a little bit late. You know, and that's understandable. I had a lot go on in a very short time, and I'm just playing catch up now, but the important things will start happening soon. But anyway, last video, we covered my review of the Atlantic Division, and, well, I didn't fare so well, but the Atlantic's very unpredictable. Today, let's put predictable to the test here and see how we did in the Central. And I mean, right off the hop, early spoiler, I didn't do any better here. But either way, I'm going to go over my predictions for the division that I made at the beginning of the year and compare them to how the regular season ended. It's worth talking about. So let's talk about it. All right. So if you remember back, or if you haven't seen it yet, check it out now. If you remember back to my Central Division predictions, I predicted to go a little bit something like this. And here's how the division ended up. And I mean, I got number 1 and I got number 8 wrong. Or I got them right, sorry. If I would just move number 2 down a lot, I might have been on even 8 for 8. But starting off in Colorado, the President's Trophy champs. Not the team I predicted to win the President's Trophy championship, but the President's Trophy champs all the same. But I think it was one of those things that went without saying. They were finishing first in the Central. There was no doubting that at all. And they were just the best team from start to January, and even continued that on in January. I mean, you don't win the President's Trophy by accident. But, I mean, when your team is full of guys like McKinnon, like McCarr, like Nietzsche's, bringing Nazem Kadri back into the fold. Then you got the two-headed monster that is the Colorado Avalanche net-minding core. What are you expecting, really? I mean, in terms of dominant, 100% dominant. A league low 197 goals against, not bad either. And one even has to wonder, is this even their prime yet, or are better things still coming? In terms of Dallas, I mean, they kept pace with Colorado for pretty much the entirety of the season. And not having a guy like Tyler Seguin on the team, whether he's contributing to the numbers or not, didn't really seem to make too much of a difference. And thankfully, a team that did not suffer from new coach syndrome, which is always a great thing. But still, the same Dallas team that has been rock solid, top to bottom, for the last 3, maybe 4 seasons. I mean, J-Rob was so close to 100 points. Add in a Wyatt Johnson, add in a Mikko Rantanen when he was healthy. You could even throw in a Heiskanen or even a Rupi Heinsohn there. With Ottinger being Ottinger in the net, nothing but the same. And it worked out to their benefit. Not a bad deal at all. For the Minnesota Wild, they kept pace with the Dallas Stars for pretty much the entirety of the season. And really only got stronger as the season progressed. But that happens, you know, when you roll off a nice, huge trade for a guy like Quinn Hughes. I mean, add in everything else they picked up at the trade deadline, and in any other division, they would have been a more dominant team. Unfortunately, they're in the same division as Colorado and Dallas. So someone had to finish third. But definitely finish strong either way. Obviously, Kaprizov will do what Kaprizov does. You add in Brock Faber, figure out the net problem between Wallstedt and Gustafsson. Who's going to be your number 1? All signs point to Wallstedt, but I could be wrong. If this is the foundation they can build on, they'll give guys like Colorado a run for not just the division, but for a decent playoff run, you'd think. And then Utah clinched your wildcard spot. And that was kind of predictable. Even for a second-year team, if we're still thinking of them in terms of an expansion team, if you're thinking of them as a franchise overall, which counts the Arizona history, this is the best season they've had in a very, very long time. But in terms of how we're supposed to think of them as, this is their best season yet. But again, another team that is only just going to get better, especially with the core that they got between Keller, Cooley, and Gunther. You're set on the forward line, or at least for a good chunk of the first 2 lines. And they've contributed really nicely. But it was great to see Utah be a competitive team that, realistically, if they were in the Pacific Division, would have been a top contender for the Pacific Division, finishing with 88 points. But only getting better from this point. Hopefully they can add some realistically good pieces to this core that they have going right now. And then you come to St. Louis. I mean, it's not that St. Louis had a bad season. It wasn't overly bad. It wasn't the greatest. I mean, they were not in a playoff spot until they tried to push for a playoff spot late in the year. But it wasn't the best season. But again, they are a GM change away from everything going either really good or really bad. So with that, one has to wonder what kind of changes will happen once Alexander Steen takes over. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there, right? But with guys like Binnington and Kyrou and Thomas all essentially on the trade block for the entirety of the year, or at least listened to, one kind of has to wonder, will they execute on these during the offseason? Or are they going to come into next season hoping things will improve? I mean, the Blues did try. They just tried too late. Nashville, I mean, well, you kind of knew this was going to be where Nashville was going to finish. They missed the playoffs. They didn't really do anything to rebuild other than draft capital, and are still looking for a new GM as I'm recording this. On top of that, you still got guys like O'Reilly and Marchessault and Stamkos, who were huge in trade rumors all season long. Gotta wonder if they're not wondering about their way out. I mean, 9 years ago, these guys were Stanley Cup contenders. Obviously, fast forward, they don't even look like pretenders. So, how much worse does it have to get in Nashville before it starts getting any better? Then you come to Winnipeg. I don't know, maybe for some teams, winning the President's Trophy is the curse. I mean, the Rangers won it, they stunk. The Jets won it, they stunk. I'm not even going to sugarcoat that. They stunk. I mean, they had ample opportunity and ample time to replace Nikolai Ehlers, and they never did. And it didn't help that Hellebuck also had struggles all season long. Well, except for that 2-week span in February. But I imagine for a lot of Jets fans, this has to be unacceptable, especially given the year they had the year before. So, much like Nashville, what has to change in Winnipeg before it gets better? Which brings us to Chicago. And you kind of had to know. With Chicago, it was not a case of were they finishing last, it was a case of how bad can they finish last. I mean, but Bedard played like Bedard does. I mean, he had probably his best year yet. But Bedard's only one guy. And once Davidson figures, hey, maybe I should rebuild or I should build around a guy like Bedard, it'll be a great day in Chicago. But until that happens, what's going to happen? I mean, obviously, one of their best shots is the lottery, but again, you still got to build a team around more than just two guys. But a lot has to happen in Chicago, and until it becomes a case of, oh, they're making serious moves, no one's going to think of them as even being close to not just a Stanley Cup contending team, but a playoff contending team. And that's sad, given what Chicago was back in the 2000s, the late 2000s, 2010s. But I miss those Blackhawks. So overall, that was my review of the Central Division. Like I said, I went 2 for 8, but those were the easiest 2. Either way, let me know what you thought about all that. Let me know if it matched up with your predictions, or if you even thought, I could have predicted a lot better. Love to hear it. Says another one of them Trevs hockey shows. I want to thank you for tuning in. Don't think I don't appreciate the gesture, especially if you've made it to this point. If you made it to this point, well, congrats, my friend. You've made it to the end. And you're helping out my watch time. And that's a great thing, because the watch time, that counts. That counts a lot. So I'll never take that for granted. But if you have made it to this point, if you're digging what I'm doing, or if you just want to say, hey, dude, I'm all for it. Throw me a thumbs up. Trust me, a thumbs up, much like the watch time, that goes a long way. That helps out that thing we talk about all the time, the algorithm. Helps that out splendidly. Gives this channel exposure. And trust me, exposure is never a bad thing, especially for a channel like this. If you want to, if you haven't done so by now, that red button, that one that says subscribe at the bottom, come on, you know you want to hit that. I know you want to hit that. That algorithm that we talk about all the time, it knows you want to hit that. So why deny yourself a good thing? It'll make you feel good. It'll make me feel good. And we're making that push to 500 by the end of the year. For everybody who's jumped on, thank you so much for joining. I'm glad you're here. I hope I can keep you to 500 and beyond. If you really want, if you want to go that extra mile, that link in my description below, that'll take you to my Facebook page. Feel free to join that. I'd love to watch the numbers build there like they're building here, and they are building. I've noticed. I mean, that's not the biggest number right now, but it's building. So everybody's joined there. Thank you so much for your support. I mean, I'm posting quite frequently on there, whether it's on mine, whether it's on somebody else's hockey page, whether it's on a music page or a movie page, whatever. I'm there. So, I mean, we could probably run into one another there. Be a great thing. But either way, moving forward. As far as these division prediction reviews goes, I got 2 more to go. I'm hoping I can at least get them filmed today. And hopefully I'll have all 4 of these up by the end of the week. I know, like I said, a little late, but hey, I'm here nonetheless. But either way, in the meantime, and in between time, be looking for your son, Trev. Data.